Most agents don't fail because they lack goals. Most fail because they don't know what to do right now, this week, to be focused in the right things. So I coach a lot of big agents who do a lot of deals and a lot of agents who have really, really big goals, which I absolutely love because the goal is going to be that blueprint and that foundation to be able to start and have kind of where you need. So I know in some previous episodes I talked about building your GPS and having that GPS around what your goal is so you can have your full business plan. So if you need to go back and watch that one, go take a look. But, what if I could tell you, now you have this goal, you have what you want to have happen for this whole year, and you can turn that into something successfully to help you execute, right? That's one of the biggest things that's missing in a lot of what we do. I just think of some different quotes. One of the quotes I think of is from even Tony Robbins, right? Where focus goes, energy flows. Or you have a good quote of, from Gary Keller, and the one thing, right? It's what's the one thing that I can do by doing that, by doing it, everything else is easier and necessary. So the question a lot of times is, okay, if you have a goal and you have something that you know is important that you want to have accomplished, how are you going about to make that a reality? One of my favorite examples of this is actually the book, The One Thing, which I actually do have. It's right here. Whoop. Yeah, The One Thing. Great, great book if you want to get that. I'll even put a link in the comments below for you to order it from Amazon. But yeah, if you're interested, The One Thing book is probably one of those fundamental ones that any business and anything for you to say, hey, how do I focus on what's most important? And it goes through a whole bunch of really good detail and really good, why it works. And I'm not going to go into all of it. There's so much in there for you to go read. Ultimately, the goal that I want you to walk away from today is to understand really one tool. But before I go into that tool, I want to go into why, and why having it so you have a plan and having, your focus in on what's the most important thing to get you there, right? So this tool is called the 411. If you haven't heard of it, it's a really awesome tool that breaks down your 1 year into what needs to happen that 1 month and what has to happen for those 4 weeks. I'm a strong believer in this tool. The more that I've personally used it, the farther and faster I've gotten and gone because I've now been in a relationship with my goal, right? The closer proximity I am with that goal and with knowing the activities and actions that I need to do, the better I do at it. It's very strange, right? It's going from, kind of going by the wind and just having things happen to being more purposeful on exactly where, what, and how you need to do, and focusing on your big rocks, your top 20% of what you need to do. So this tool, this 411, if you go through it and you really break it down, I was even just teaching a class today about the 6 personal perspectives, and one of the big parts in there is your 80-20 rule, right? And having it so you're focusing on that top 20% activities that give you 80% of your results, your big rocks. And in the One Thing book, it talks about your success list. Don't you just love having a to-do list and check? Having it so that you have those marks off, it feels satisfying. And to some degree, it doesn't matter what one you check off. It's that dopamine rush. It's that ability to say, I did something, right? Very powerful tool that, and I think a to-do list is a great thing to keep you on track and knowing what you're doing. The one thing that you can do even better is a success list, is saying, hey, if I have these items that I need to accomplish, right? If I have these 10 items and I know that 20% of them are going to be more important than the rest, instead of doing the 8 and then doing the 2, how do I do the big rocks first and put it on my calendar? And that's ultimately what this 411 tool is built for. It's for you to go through, look at what are your big rocks? What are those to-dos, things that you need to say, I need to make them into a success list and prioritize? And how do you make sure that you take the most important ones and put them onto your calendar? Have it so it can be something that you now take, you look at, you say, okay, for this week, in order for me to hit my month goal and benchmark, I need to accomplish these things and I need to do these things so that you can hold yourself accountable. Because the reality is, you're the one that's in power of having the best life that you can by implementing and doing the most important things to help you get there. So there's so many things of knowing where that gap is, where you're at, where on this 411, if you have your whole year, you have your month, now you can look at really what needs to go on your calendar for every day. And if you can get a really good at time blocking and having it so that you're structured in that way, then you're going to be that much in a better spot. And here's why that's important. The crazy part is within 2 weeks of New Year's resolutions being made, we have this wonderful day called quitting day, right? And that's where majority of people have already given up on their goals that they already said were important to them to achieve and accomplish more. And, that's the sad part. If only 8% of people are actually hitting those New Year resolutions, where do you fit on that and why? Are you one of the people who is being in a relationship with your goals, so that you can make sure to accomplish and move farther faster? Or are you one of the people who is choosing to not have it be something that you're focused on, right? Because the reality is what we focus on expands. And if we're willing to focus on that to get the energy that we need to for it, then it will make a huge difference in our lives. And that's kind of where I think it's fascinating, because if you go into a lot of this about accomplishing goals and everything, some of the big quotes out there, like Bill Gates, for example, he said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and severely underestimate what they can do in 10. So if you can, really have it so that you have your goals and lined up and what you're wanting to do and what does that 10-year vision look like and dreaming big, then that's where you're going to be able to line up all of these to really make it happen the way that you want and have the life that not only you deserve, but you want. So how do you go out and do that? This tool 411, go look it up. It's simple. It's, okay, what's my 1 year goal? I personally divide it into business and personal life. And then again, okay, what's that 1 month look like? And I do it in my personal and business life because I want to take those goals and move them and say, what are those chunks that I need to do? And then every single week, I'm in that relationship. And this structure can look pretty similar. For me, every single morning, I look at my 411 and I take about 5 to 10 minutes to say, hey, is my schedule matching up for what I need to accomplish and where am I at on my weekly goals? Every week, I look through and say, hey, how did I do for the week? And according to my month goals, how am I doing and what does this next week need to look like, right? And then I can go to the next part and I go even bigger. Monthly, I sit down and I say, hey, how am I doing monthly for my yearly goals? And then schedule and what I need for the next month, right? That way I can really be accountable to myself, be accountable to where I want to go and most accomplish these goals to really be like, hey, how can I have that be part of my life? And my favorite one that I do is once a year, I spend a whole day reviewing my goals, looking at what's to come and what I want to accomplish for that year and beyond so that I can really line that up and line up those dominoes. That's one of the things that it says in the One Thing book is one domino can knock over another domino that's 50% bigger and it can continue. So that size and velocity changes drastically for you to be able to continue to improve your life. Right? If you can know what that one thing is that's the most important, that's where that domino effect comes into play and you can have the biggest life that you want get in 5 to 10 years and really make things happen. So what are you going to choose right now? How are you going to use this tool of the 411 to really set yourself up for a better future, better life, more of accomplishing what you want to hit, to really make those goals happen. So if you liked this, if you want more, the next step is really that I'm going to talk about, because we talked about the GPS. This is the 411 for you now to not only have your goal and your plan, but this is the spot to keep you accountable and track over time. One of the other tools that I'm going to talk about is really your growth plan and having it so you have that structure of what books and what trainings and what things are you going to put into your life to have that personal development, because your business and your life will grow to the extent that you do. So how are you focusing on yourself? Go build it. Go make it happen. See ya.